Hey, so Mariah here. I'm doing something a little different. I did a video maybe about a week ago that was called Help. And in that video, I asked you guys for feedback on what content you guys wanted to see, and a couple of you wanted to know about my personal spiritual journey, right? So it's very complex. I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. I'm going to be very transparent, honest, open, real, raw, unfiltered. Hopefully you can understand that, just like how I tend to be in my regular YouTube videos. So apologies, but no apologies. This is my life. So I took some notes just so I can stay on topic. I've tried to record this video multiple times, so hopefully this is the final time of having to record this. So to have a little bit of understanding about me, I got to give you a little bit about my background, right? Background: my great-grandmother was a psychic. My grandmother had heightened intuition, and she had minor psychic abilities. My mother just has heightened intuition, and I have heightened intuition and some psychic abilities as well. I have more psychic abilities than I know. I just haven't tapped into them yet, just because this year, especially with my channel, I really started to hone into my abilities. And there are new things that I'm discovering spiritually and on those levels that I didn't know that I possessed until I tapped more into it. So that background there. So to kind of get into this journey is to understand a little bit about me and where I come from. My mother was emotionally unavailable and a narcissist. My father was inconsistent and barely present in my life, right? Which leads to the decisions that I made that led me to my spiritual journey. Which, with a lot of us, a lot of traumas, PTSDs, heartbreaks, life issues, concerns tend to draw us into tarot, right? Because we're looking for answers that we can't really find outside ourselves. So we find them in this form of practice and medium. Well, my journey started with my first heartbreak. And with that happening, things unfortunately didn't go well, but that's when my faith began to strengthen in something being utterly divine, something that was a higher presence more than myself, because I really went to the deep end off of that. And to come out of that situation where I had to go to therapy, I was at points suicidal, and to overcome that, it led me into my newer choices in men. Well, if I can't get love from you, I'm just going to go ahead and go with somebody older that can love me, that will love me, right? We link it back to childhood. So I started dating older men. I was 18 with a 54-year-old. Absolutely. Loved him to pieces, absolutely. But that point also triggered further my spirituality. That's when I started to discover Buddhism. And I loved Buddhism, and I still love Buddhism practices to this day. That was kind of my first step into the water. However, life hit. That relationship didn't work out, left him, went over to a 56-year-old, now I'm 19. But not only am I 19 with a 56-year-old, I'm 19 with a 56-year-old, and I am homeless. Did he know about it? No. But I was homeless, and I ended up becoming a stripper, right? And through becoming a stripper, Lord, the lifestyle, the experiences, the mortality that I faced of my own multiple times. There were multiple situations where I should have been killed, that I would have been killed, or I would have killed myself. It was just tough. I saw my friends almost die from ODing on the different types of drugs, like horse tranquilizers. I saw a lot of people come and go, and I've sold my body and my soul for money. How else was I supposed to survive? How else was I supposed to get by? I couldn't go back home. So that relationship ended up lasting for a few years, which led me to end up stepping out on that relationship with my partner not knowing. When I stepped out on that relationship with somebody, well, the person I stepped out with didn't work. But I was still in the relationship. And because that other person that I stepped out with, I ended up falling in love with him, and it didn't work out. This is what led me to tarot. And I didn't know anything about tarot prior to it. But when I got on YouTube, I was looking up astrology, Leo horoscope, because he was a Leo. Leo horoscopes, what's happening with Leos, what's going on with Leos. And on the recommended side, the bar on the side, I saw tarot videos of how was he feeling, or pick a card, or daily spreads. And I would click on these videos and I would watch them, and it became one video to 100 videos to 1,000 videos to me at that point, morning, noon, night, during work, while I slept, because I would play the videos while I was sleeping, while I was eating, breathing, on the toilet, in the shower, have my phone on the bathroom sink while the videos are going. I spent tens of thousands of hours listening to tarot, day in and day out, for months up to a year. Every single moment consumed my life with tarot. And at that point, I just understood and knew all of the information. I never picked up any literature. I never formally studied tarot. I never took any classes or any studies on tarot. This is all based off life experiences, but I was pulled and called that way. It just called to me. So that's how I kind of got into it. Left all of that mess alone, tried to walk my own path, was still a dancer. And one night, one of my customers came into the club and we talked about tarot. Came back maybe a week later and bought me my first tarot deck. And he told me, keep these, this is for you, I got these for you. We talked about tarot. You're gonna need these one day, they're gonna take you far. And I still have my first ever tarot deck that I got in this strip club when I was at the lowest point in my life. And I didn't know what I was gonna do with them. You know, I just played with them at home and just read my own, you know, situations and life circumstances, but I didn't know. Who would have known that I would be speaking to you right now? So from there was a spread that I did maybe about 6 months later, and I asked Spirit, because I knew I was moving here to Houston, Texas, and I asked Spirit, who will I be meeting? Spirit gave me full-on description and gave me the number 2. And I didn't know if Spirit meant 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months. I moved to Houston, Texas of 2020, and 2 months to the exact date I met my twin flame. And exactly how everything was predicted in my personal spread is exactly how everything happened. And it was gut-wrenching, heartbreaking. It was a situation that I wanted to work out, it didn't work out. And, you know, I had to take accountability because the red flags were there, but I didn't want to see them because I was so infatuated with this person that I just wanted that person to be it because I felt that person to be it. And don't get me wrong, that's still my twin flame, but I refuse to go back down that route. So the last straw was January of 2021, and we're bringing it up to speed, right? January of 2021. Last straw didn't work out, got used for the last time again. My fault, because I shouldn't have put myself in that situation. I already knew the type of character he was, and yet I allowed myself to be vulnerable to this person. So I take accountability. So when things didn't work out, went back into a depression, spiraled, went through pain and upset. And there was a point where I got to myself and I'm like, you know what? And I was pulling cards every day, every night, reading tarot on this situation ever since the day I met him to know what's happening, what's gonna happen. And after that January situation, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck this. And I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't from the best, most spiritual, calm, peaceful place. I'm sorry, we're human. Sometimes you just gotta say fuck this. And in that moment, it was like, you know what? I'm tired of reading tarot. If I'm gonna watch another fucking tarot video and be fucking miserable and feel fucking sick and I'm cussing because that's how I really felt. I'm being raw and unfiltered with you. If I'm gonna be fucking sick, if I'm gonna be fucking miserable, if I'm gonna deal with all this that I allowed myself to deal with that I shouldn't have, let me make a positive outcome out of this. If I couldn't prevent my own self from making certain mistakes that I knew better and I didn't do better, at least let me be a guiding light for others for their own life path and their own life choices and their own life experiences. Let me be able to grow with them and grow through them as we grow together. But it didn't come from a peaceful place. It came from a place of I'm taking my life back. And don't get me wrong, my life wasn't all the way bad, but trust me, I had some fucked up shit happen to me. Some shit that most people don't deal with in 2 lifetimes. And again, I'm not getting into details of my life story because this is about my spiritual journey, right? But trust when I say. So that's when I started my tarot channel, technically in February, and I really didn't get into it until March. And I came into it, had to take some time for myself, but then when I got started, okay, Spirit, let me know what I can do. How can I turn this around? How can I be of service? And all I heard was just go. Just do it. Just go. Simple words. And that's when I started to do my first videos. Because I already knew all how to read tarot. I didn't pick up a single piece of literature. I just knew. And I already knew how to tap in. I already knew because through extreme events in my life, I've always heard or had Spirit reach out to me, tap into me, talk to me, talk to me, touch me, to let me know what's going on. So I've always had spirit tap me, talk to me, touch me, to let me know what's going on and what to do or how to move within certain situations. So I've always been connected. It wasn't just this year I just got to know. I've always, again, I'm giving you my spiritual journey, but a lot of my spiritual journey has to do with a lot of my life journey. It's intertwined. But because we're condensing this video, I'm not going into actual detail. These are the very brief, extremely brief cliff notes. So I just heard those simple words and I started laying out the spreads, doing spreads. And my video I did back in May of this year, that Earth Angel video was for Leos, really was, I think still to this day, was my biggest video that I've done. And I didn't expect my YouTube to gain momentum in the way that it did so quickly. I've always been honored, I've been blessed that this has happened to me, that this has happened for me. But even within itself, I'm still going through my spiritual journey. Again, I'm only a tender age of 26, right? The tender age of 26. But again, like I said, I've lived a lot of shit that most people won't live in 2 lifetimes. Seen a lot of shit that most people won't see in 2 lifetimes. And I don't say that as an understatement. And I mean, this goes back to childhood up to this day. So because of these experiences and because of wanting to take my life back in my hands and take life back in my control, I got started, and you see me today, here. A woman putting the pieces of herself together, a woman that is still evolving and developing, a woman that is tapped in and tuned in and has abilities, not one of these spiritual guides, if you will, that is by the book, that is all peace and rainbows and sunshine. Life is real, life is hard, and life is so fucked up. And that's why I try to be very empowering and motivating in my videos, because a lot of times in my life I had none of that. I had none of it. And a lot of times in my life it's been very dark. And a lot of times in my life, if it was not for a spirit saving me and pulling me out of my dark times, you would not be getting this video today. You would not. You would absolutely not. And I'm not going to get emotional, because I'm not going to be one of them YouTubers on here with the crocodile tears and going, because I overcame and I'm a beast, right? Just like all of us. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful and I'm so blessed beyond measure. I can't describe to you how blessed beyond measure that I am to be here today and to talk to you and to really talk to you and to really be able to sit in my home. My home. To sit here in my home and talk to you. I didn't have a place to call home. To sit here and talk to you. This time, sorry. I got somewhere to be and I got time for tears. We gonna wrap this up. But to sit here and talk to you, and this time last year, we'll take it back to August. I was facing eviction. A month prior to that, I was in my kitchen in July of 2020 with a knife ready to fucking kill myself. And if it wasn't single-handedly for my friend calling me, you would not be getting me here today. And I mean that. So I'm thankful. And I don't know all of your faces. I can't see all of your faces, but I mean it with the deepest sincerity. I am very grateful and thankful to each and every one